The screaming started before the alarms. That alone should have told Captain Reith Vox that something had gone catastrophically wrong. Alarms were normal on a cargo vessel. Hull stress warnings, custom scans, engine complaints. But screaming, high-pitched, rhythmic, organic, was not on any standard alert list. Reith burst onto the loading deck expecting fire, pirates, or sabotage. Instead, he found his quartermaster standing very still, holding a very small human. The child's face was red, its lungs were powerful, and the universal translator calmly whispered words that froze every organ in Reith's body. Human, juvenile, offspring. Reith stared. Then he whispered the only sentence that mattered. "You bought a human baby?"
Captain Reith Vox did not move for a full 3 seconds. In his long career hauling volatile cargo across disputed systems, those seconds might have been the most dangerous of his life. The human infant screamed again, a piercing sound that vibrated through the metal deck plating and straight into Reith's spine. The small creature thrashed in Quartermaster Jorik's arms, tiny fists clenched, face flushed an alarming shade of red. "Put it down," Reith said slowly. Jorik froze. "Captain, it's—" "I know exactly what it is," Reith snapped. "Put the human child down, gently." Jorik complied, lowering the baby onto a padded cargo crate like it was a live explosive. The infant immediately escalated its protest, voice rising with terrifying endurance. Reith activated his wrist scanner with a shaking claw. The readout confirmed what he already knew. Species, human. Age, 0.7 standard cycles. Biological status, healthy. Emotional status, extreme distress. Reith felt his secondary heart seize. "You bought this," he said quietly, turning to Jorik. "From where?" "The market. Dock 43. Vendor claimed it was exotic livestock, said it needed warmth and feeding every few hours. I thought—" "You thought," Reith interrupted, voice dropping to a dangerous calm, "that any creature requiring constant care, screaming like a proximity alarm, might be livestock?" Jorik's mandibles clicked helplessly. The price was very good. The bridge crew had begun to gather, drawn by the noise. Every eye locked onto the baby. Several crew members took instinctive steps backward. "Does anyone here," Reith asked the room, "not understand what happens when humans believe their offspring are threatened?" No one spoke. Humans do not negotiate over their young. They do not issue warnings. They erase. As if the universe itself agreed, the ship's sensors flared. "Warning, long-range scan lock detected. Incoming transmission." The channel forced itself open. A human appeared on the holoscreen, middle-aged, calm, uniform crisp and unmistakably military. "This is Commander Elias Hale of the Terran Defense Coalition cruiser Vigilant. You are in possession of a stolen human child." Reith swallowed hard. "Commander, there has been a catastrophic misunderstanding." Hale's gaze flicked past the camera, locking on to the screaming infant. "You have 12 hours. Transmit your coordinates. Do not alter course. Do not harm the child. If you fail, your ship will not be boarded. It will be destroyed." The transmission cut. Silence returned, only broken by the baby's cries. Reith turned slowly toward Jorik. "You," he said, "have made the most expensive purchase in recorded history."
The countdown became the most terrifying thing Captain Reith Vox had ever seen, and it wasn't even displayed on a screen. It existed in the human infant's lungs. The crying did not weaken, it did not tire, it did not pause for breath the way most species young did. The sound was relentless, rising and falling in waves that rattled cargo restraints and frayed nerves. Every crew member felt it burrow into their thoughts. "Why has it not stopped?" asked Navigator Seln, her voice tight. "It has expelled enough air to suffocate a grown Keth." Reith didn't answer. He was staring at the data streaming across his wrist display. Human infant care protocols hastily downloaded from open Terran networks. Feeding required. Physical contact advised. Soothing vocalization effective. Reith read the words 3 times. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that this creature becomes louder when ignored?" "Yes," replied the ship's medical AI. "Volume escalation is a distress signal." Jorik swallowed. "Captain, the instructions say it needs to be held." The room went still. "Held," Reith repeated. No one moved. Finally, Reith stepped forward. Every instinct screamed that touching a human offspring without permission was a death sentence, but the cries were worsening, and the human commander's face replayed in his mind, calm, controlled, absolutely lethal. Reth extended one careful claw and lifted the infant. The baby immediately grabbed his finger with shocking strength. Reth froze. The crying faltered, not stopped, but changed. The volume dropped a fraction, as if the creature were reassessing the situation. "It's gripping me," Reth whispered. "That is normal," the AI replied. "Humans bond through physical contact." Bond. The word made Reth's stomach tighten. The ship's sensors pulsed. "Incoming fleet mass detected. Estimated arrival, 11 hours, 12 minutes. A Terran fleet. Not one ship, a fleet. Crew members stared at the display in horror. The readings were impossible. Dozens of vessels holding formation beyond sensor fog, all engines idling, all weapons powered but not charging. "They could destroy us now," Selm whispered. "Why are they waiting?" Reth looked down at the human baby, now hiccuping softly, still clinging to him. "Because," he said, "humans do not fire blindly when their young are involved." The baby made a small, exhausted sound and pressed closer. Reth felt something unfamiliar twist inside his chest. "This child," he said quietly, "is the only reason we still exist."
The humans stopped talking. That terrified the galaxy. At exactly 11 hours remaining on the countdown, all Terran transmissions ceased. No warnings, no threats, no diplomatic channels left open. Even civilian frequencies went dark, as if an entire species had collectively decided that words were no longer necessary. Captain Reth Vox felt the silence like pressure against his skull. "Open every channel again," he ordered. The comm officer's frills trembled. "Captain, there's nothing. Not blocked, not jammed. The Terrans simply aren't transmitting." Reth tightened his grip on the human infant. The baby was awake now, alert eyes tracking movement with unsettling intelligence for such a small being. It made soft, questioning sounds, no longer screams, but noises that demanded attention. "They're planning," Reth said quietly. Across known space, governments noticed. Human fleets repositioned with surgical precision, supply convoys rerouted without announcement. Border patrols withdrew, not in retreat, but in consolidation. Every action was coordinated, deliberate, and utterly calm. "Why aren't they demanding immediate surrender?" Navigator Selm asked. Reth shook his head. "Humans only shout when shouting might help. Silence means they're preparing to act." The ship's AI interrupted. "Captain, galactic data surge detected. Multiple species are updating emergency protocols. Several have declared neutrality. 3 have activated planetary shields." Fear spread faster than any fleet. On the Iron Claw, the baby began to fuss again. Reth instinctively adjusted his hold, recalling the care instructions. The child settled almost instantly. "It trusts you," Jorek whispered. Reth did not answer. He was watching the sensor map. The Terran fleet had stopped advancing. It now surrounded them. Not aggressively, not tightly, just close enough that escape vectors no longer existed. A single message appeared on the screen. Not audio, not video. Text only. "Do not panic. Care for the child. We are en route." "That's it?" Selm said. Reth's secondary heart pounded. "That's more than enough." The baby reached up, tiny fingers brushing Reth's face. The touch was gentle, trusting. Reth felt the weight of what they carried, not cargo, not contraband, but a promise. Whatever came next would define how the galaxy understood humans forever, and the humans had gone quiet. The warship did not jump in with thunder. It arrived with precision. Space folded cleanly beside the Iron Claw, light bending in smooth geometric arcs as the Terran flagship emerged from hyperspace. No shockwave, no distortion alarms, just a vast, immaculate vessel sliding into existence like it had always been there. It dwarfed the cargo ship instantly. Hull white and gunmetal, edges sharp and deliberate. The ship carried no visible battle damage because it had not needed any. Its name illuminated calmly across the hull in bold Terran script, TDC Vigilant. Captain Reth Vox felt something ancient and instinctive coil inside his chest. Predator. The sensors screamed warnings, not of weapons fire, but of readiness. Every Terran system was active, balanced, and waiting. Power flowed like a held breath. "They could end us in under a second," Navigator Selm whispered. Ref nodded. They already decided not to.
A docking corridor extended from the Vigilant, slowly, deliberately, perfectly aligned. No boarding torpedoes, no forced breach. A message arrived. Video channel open. Commander Elias Hale appeared again. Same calm expression, same steady eyes. Behind him stood human soldiers in full combat armor, weapons lowered, helmets sealed, posture flawless. "Captain Vox," Hale said, "you have complied so far. Continue to do so." Ref bowed his head slightly. The child is unharmed, fed, secure. Hale's gaze shifted, not to Ref, but to the infant in his arms. The commander's expression softened for a fraction of a second. "Good," he said. "That is why no one has died." The docking clamps engaged with a muted thrum. Human boots touched alien metal. They did not rush. They did not shout. They spread through the ship with quiet efficiency, securing corridors, medical bays, and control rooms without firing a single shot. Crew members were gently but firmly directed aside. "This is not an arrest. This is a recovery," Hale's voice echoed over the ship-wide channel. One soldier stepped forward and knelt, not in submission, but to lower themselves to the infant's level. "Hello there," the soldier said softly. The baby blinked, then smiled. Several crew members gasped. Ref exhaled slowly, realizing his claws had been clenched the entire time. If this was humanity's restraint, Ref thought, then their anger was something the galaxy should pray never to witness.
The humans moved like a practice tide. No alarms blared, no weapons discharged. Yet within minutes, the Iron Claw was no longer under alien control. Human soldiers stood at every junction, posture relaxed but unyielding. Their weapons remained lowered, though every crew member could feel the readiness humming beneath the armor. "This is humiliating," Navigator Seln whispered. Captain Reth Vox shook his head. "No, this is mercy." Commander Hale walked beside Reth through the corridor, his pace unhurried. "No charges will be filed," Hale said calmly. "No vessels seized, no lives taken." Reth stopped walking. "Then why bring a fleet?" Hale met his gaze. "Because if we hadn't, you would be dead, and we prefer restraint to regret." The baby stirred in Reth's arms as they entered the medical bay. Human doctors were already preparing a clean examination pod, bright lights, gentle instruments, quiet voices. "May I?" Hale asked. Reth hesitated, then handed the child over. The infant immediately quieted in the human's grip. Several crew members looked away, ashamed. "You don't punish us," Reth said slowly, "even after what we did." Hale adjusted the baby's blanket. "Captain Vox, punishment doesn't return stolen children. Recovery does." Outside the ship, the Terran fleet held position. Across the galaxy, observers recorded every second. The message was unmistakable. Humans did not seek revenge. They sought their own.
Galactic officials arrived within the hour. Holographic delegates filled the bridge, dozens of species, all speaking at once, demanding jurisdiction, compensation, precedent. "This was a legal purchase," one delegate insisted. "No galactic statute forbids." Commander Hale raised a hand. The room fell silent. "There is no law," Hale said evenly, "that supersedes a parent's right to their child." Reth watched the delegates recoil, not from volume, but certainty. "You threatened war," another voice accused. "No," Hale replied, "we prevented one." The baby was visible on a shared feed, sleeping peacefully in a human medic's arms. "Let this be recorded," Hale continued. "Humans will obey galactic law, but when our children are taken, law becomes secondary to retrieval." No one argued, because everyone understood. The second human ship arrived without warning. It was smaller, civilian, unarmed. Yet every being aboard the Iron Claw felt the shift in gravity, not physical, but emotional. Two humans emerged from the docking corridor. They were not soldiers. They were terrified. The woman's eyes were red. The man's hand shook. They moved past armed guards without hesitation. "That's them," Reth whispered. The baby heard the voices. A cry broke out, not fear, but recognition. The mother ran. No one stopped her. She took the child into her arms, sobbing openly. The father collapsed beside her, pressing his forehead to the infant's. "I thought we lost you," the mother whispered. Every alien present understood then. This was never about power. This was about family. The galaxy learned a new rule that day. It was not written into treaties. It was not debated in councils. It was observed. Human ships departed quietly. No demands, no reparations, no threats. The Iron Claw was released.
Captain Reth Vox stood alone on the bridge, staring at empty space. "You bought a human baby," he said softly. Yorick nodded miserably. "And lived," Reth added, "because they chose restraint." Across known space, markets changed their listings overnight. Human artifacts vanished. Exotic juveniles were banned. And whenever a species considered testing humanity's patience, they remembered one thing. The humans did not shout. They did not rush. They came.